The Titleist Performance Institute in Oceanside, California, is the world's leading research facility dedicated to the study of how the human body moves in the golf swing. For the past 10 years, Dr. Greg Rose has trained, coached, and studied some of the longest hitters in golf, looking for the secrets to their incredible distance.
One of the things I think that's very obvious is the technique of long drivers versus what you would see on the PGA Tour. First and foremost, it's hard to find a long drive player that does not lift the lead heel in the backswing. Number two is you're going to see hands very vertical, high up in the air. Now this is important for generating speed in the trunk. And then something that a lot of people don't think about is the vertical thrust component. If you look at the best players, the biggest hitters, they tend to have a vertical jump in their downswing. They literally will squat. Jason Zuback up to 6 inches, squats in the downswing, and then has a vertical jump coming up their impact. Bubba Watson, same thing. A lot of these players, if we put them on a force platform and we look at the force plate, it goes with what we call blackout, which is basically they go airborne and the force plate just goes black because there's nobody on it anymore. As they're coming through impact, look at a long drive player's feet. Their feet are moving everywhere. Where in the modern golf swing, we're thinking of keeping our feet stable, rotating around. There's nothing stable about long drive swings. We developed some technology that helps us look inside the golfer to see exactly how they generate power and how they transfer this power. Now we use what's called 3D motion capture. It can actually show us insight on how players generate power and transfer power. Energy starts from the lower body. Their lower body starts to create this incredible rotary speed. Now that energy is then transferred to their rib cage. As the rib cage rotates, it then transfers energy to the arm. The arms then transfer energy to the club, and the club goes to the ball. And it's in this perfect sequence that we can measure under motion capture. And we've been seeing that the long drive tour players, they can rotate their body faster than the average PGA Tour player. Now here's the key. On a PGA Tour player, the arms move around 900 to 950 degrees per second, where a long drive tour player can go almost 1300 degrees per second. They can generate almost 50% more energy from the thorax to their arms. That's an incredible difference.
Over the last decade, Dr. Rose has developed a training regimen that helps players increase strength, speed, and flexibility with the goal of adding distance off the tee. TPI starts the process with simple baseline tests that can predict a golfer's ability to hit it far.
Believe it or not, we can now do these 3 tests and get within 2 or 3 miles an hour of your potential ball speed, which is pretty cool. We do a seated chest pass where we have them sit against a chair and we throw a medicine ball as far as they can. We have them lay down on their back and they sit up and throw this ball as far as they can. And then we actually do a vertical jump. And we look at those 3 tests. And based on how far you throw, how high you jump, we can predict your ball speed.
Carl Walter began competing in long drive in 2002, a complete unknown to the sport. But TPI's medicine ball test actually predicted his success 4 months earlier.
A good friend of mine called me one day and he said, "Hey, you got to see this school teacher from Pennsylvania. His name's Carl Walter, and this guy is a freak. He can hit the ball so far, it's unbelievable." We had a lot of great players that we had tested. Nobody had ever chest passed over 30 feet, set up and throw over 30 feet, and vertical jumped over 30 inches. Well, Carl comes in, we go through the test, and he broke 32 on all 3 tests.
Dr. Greg Rose called me and said, "Hey, I just tested a guy, and if he hits it solid, he pretty much has already won the Remax World Championship."
It was a good prediction. He won the World Long Drive that year.
The sport of long drive has seen an influx of elite athletes, highlighted by Carl Walter. Ironically, the 2-time champ's passion is motocross. Countless hours on the dirt track have developed his core, but it's the sport of javelin, where he was an All-American at Penn State, that holds the key to his success in long drive.
The javelin does something really, you have to sprint fast. So you run and then you come to a very abrupt stop. And that stopping effect creates this ground reforce reaction from the ground. Energy comes back in through the lower body, transfers through the body to the javelin, which is very much like the golf swing.
My power that I developed through javelin helped me learn how to utilize my weight and transfer my weight and power into a golf swing. That was really what helped me compete in long drive.
Golf technology is constantly evolving. William Hinson visits the Callaway Test Center to take advantage of the latest breakthrough equipment when we return.